Welcome back to another episode of the What Everybody podcast. Episode 110 of the WBP is here and ready for blast off. On today's episode, Ryan is back on the energy drink for the first time in 3 months. Johnny's on the coffee. What else is new? They talk about a few things. They talk about Ozzy. They talk about festivals. Is rock and roll dead? We shall find out. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a little wood for the fireplace, and enjoy the show. So with no further ado, Ryan and Johnny. All right. Hello. Hi, Ryan.
Johnny, you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode 110. 110. That's 110 for those of you who don't know what 110 is. 1 and 0 equal 110. Episode 110 of the What Everybody podcast is here. It's upon us. We're ready to go. Harris is in Pittsburgh.
Hey.
Go figure.
Well, what's up, my airport buddy?
Hey, buddy. I've seen Harris twice over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Once to pick me up from the airport and once to take him to the airport.
Yeah, that's the status of our relationship. We talk on Zoom every couple of weeks, and we use each other as a ride to the airport.
We
It's a pretty good friendship.
to allow-
In honesty,
well,
that's a pretty good friendship.
That is a good friendship. And I did stay on Harris's couch for a while there. And since then, we haven't hung out in person outside of the airport runs.
That was over the spring, right?
Yeah. But I have
Well,
been
I had
gone
my-
on tour a ton.
Yeah, you were on tour, and I had my eye problems. And
Yeah, eye problems,
Here-
which
here we-
everybody
here
knows
we are
about.
at the
We
holidays.
talk about them. How's your eyes doing? Let's start there. Your eyes okay?
I'm
Need
on
a
the
short
mend.
answer?
Yes.
Good. Wonderful. With that being said, what's going on, dude?
How's your butt? Is your butt okay? Stupidest thing I ever said.
Well, you know, it's funny.
I'm
you
on
should
the energy
ask.
drinks, dude. I haven't had an energy drink in 3 months, and I'm drinking one right now. This is a terrible idea. but
It's a
I'm
great
doing it
idea
for the podcast.
I want to go back to this butt. I want to answer the butt question. I got here, and the
Okay.
first thing I did was ran to the toilet. Just saying. I had to
yeah,
go.
that seems to be your process. Is that
Yeah.
your thinking space? Is that how you get your head right for the podcast?
I think I just get my head right in life on the shitter. You know, like it's just a thing that I,
Yeah,
it's
do.
I
it's
hang
your,
there a lot.
It's your happy place. Let's call it.
It kind of really is one of my only happiest moments in life, to be honest. with you.
Well, no, they say that like you have to force yourself out of those like I don't know. This could be total bro science, but this is the perfect place for half truths. Like if people that take long showers, it's because they want to be like comfortable and safe. It's like you want to take long poos so you could stay in that little room, sniff your fumes, and be safe.
Do you know why in a public restroom they have the little cracks in the door?
Oh, I don't know. Probably so people can look at you and make you feel
so
really
people
uncomfortable.
Well, yeah. So people can look in and you won't just sit there for fucking 20 minutes.
Oh, it's like coffee shops turn their air conditioning on like 60, so you get your coffee and like you can't physically sit there to use the Wi-Fi any longer than it takes to drink that by now cold coffee.
They don't give a shit about their employees freezing their ass off.
Yeah, well, they're moving around. It's a Starbucks now, but it used to be a Coffee Bean on Sunset by my apartment, and I'd go there and I'd try to work because I enjoy being, well, okay, tread lightly, Ryan. I used to enjoy being around people. So I'd go to the coffee shop, take my computer, work. I would get, in the summer, I'd get a coffee, and I couldn't physically stay there for longer than about an hour.
Bring a sweatshirt next time.
It was in the summer.
I mean, what, you can't wear a sweatshirt in the summer?
Yeah, you make a valid point.
Yeah, just saying.
You know what's nice about being back here, dude? Hey, cheers to coffees. This is the first time I can do that to you in 3 months.
Time. He'll be angry at me in about 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. About 30
Oh,
minutes
no, this is
and
a terrible
counting.
idea. I'm going to call you tonight and being like, tell me I'm not going to die of a panic attack. That's the voice I'll use. You know what's nice about being back here?
What's that?
I don't have to see those god-awful Tesla trucks everywhere.
Oh, God, they're everywhere. And whenever I see one that's gotten in an accident, I just laugh.
Oh, you saw one in an accident?
Well,
I thought
not
they were
like-
like dent-proof.
No, dude, you've never watched the video of what happens to those things when they get into an accident?
No.
They like
Oh.
fucking shatter.
Fantastic. No, I mean, I don't want people to get hurt. I'm just saying that, like, that exists.
Listen, I don't want anybody to get hurt, but like, I do want somebody to smack the guy who bought that truck. I want somebody to smack him in the head, because why the hell would you buy that ugly ass doorstop looking motherfucker?
I had a thought the other day, because the silver ones, all right, I can call it a DeLorean mindset.
DeLoreans were so much cooler though, dude.
Oh, no, I 100% agree. 100% agree. But the
like
mindset,
the same material. They're like this weird stainless steel thing.
It's like a weird metallic thing that
in 2 years, all
out.
those trucks will be rusty looking, probably. Your point is.
The other ones that you see that are wrapped in flat pink, and then I saw one the other day that looked like oil and water. You know when you mix oil and water and it kind of turns out like pink, greeny, weird, like metallic pink and green? You're looking at me like you don't know normal, like, base level life stuff. Like, you never walked in a parking lot.
You're just figuring this out.
I don't mean to be insulting. You never walked in a parking lot where a car dripped oil and then it rained and it makes that mesh of like pink and green and yellow.
No.
Anyway, I saw one that color the other day.
I'm thinking of the neon green radiator fluid. Antifreeze is now
not so different, not so terribly different. So let's go with that. I saw one of those the other day, and they tend to be wrapped with websites and things like that. And it's just obnoxious. Anyway, my rant is about, could you imagine being a dude and you have a date and you go pick your date up in a Tesla truck? What are your thoughts? Granted, you're the guy that bought the truck, so you probably think it's rad, but
and you know what? The girl who said yes to him going on a date probably will think it's rad because she said yes to him going on a date. I mean, because like, seriously, you got to think about this for a second. We should get a Tesla truck owner on the show to see if our theories are anywhere near
I would love it.
Right. But
I want to know the mindset.
There's got to be something mentally challenged with anybody who looks at that and says, I'm going to buy that.
Yeah. It's funny because, we're musicians. I play guitar. I like to be on stage. I want people to look at me in that environment. But in the world, I kind of just want to blend in and I don't want to stand out too much.
Yeah, but think about somebody who isn't a musician, who doesn't get on stage and have people get in awe of them, that maybe this is their way of doing that.
Just like, look at me. It's 100% a look at me thing.
Yeah. Like, you knew when you bought that car that you put your name on a waiting list to get this ugly ass door stop. And I just call it a door stopper. I keep doing it because it just looks like it's just a ginormous door stopper. That thing.
One of those little wedges. It looks like a wedge.
You put in the door. Yeah. It's a door stopper. That's what it looks like. And
you know what a door stopper looks like, but you don't know what oil and watercolor is? Buddy.
Well, dude, it's like, we use different sides of the brain. You know what I mean? It's like, I count to 4. You like play guitar solos. I think our brains just, I think like a caveman and you think like, I don't know, like with numbers in a different kind of way.
Be nice.
If you're not following any of this, all I'm trying to say is the things you noticed and the things I notice are 2 different things. Yeah. But I bet you there's a slew of things that I notice that you would never even think to notice.
Oh, that's interesting. Let's talk about it. You don't have to do it now, but just think about it. Like, make a list and we'll talk about it one of these episodes.
Yeah, very interesting. Huh?
Speaking of music, though, I heard something interesting. There's a select group of, or percentage, whatever you call it, of musicians, and it tends to be on the higher end of talent that see music in colors. Have you heard of this? So instead of like playing A chord, they would see like green or whatever.
Like, can you give me a guitar player who's like this?
No, I don't know anybody. I just think it's an interesting theory because it made me think of that. There's a movie called August Rush. And it's about this prodigy kid. He's like, I don't know. It's been some years since I saw it, but it's like he's 10 or 12 and he composes and conducts an entire symphony. And part of the point of this movie was he sees things in colors. So whenever there's an absence of something that he wants to hear, it's like, oh, I need some purple over there or whatever, And it makes me wonder, since you're a unique human being, how do you see music? Or do you just count?
I don't count. I mean, when I have to, I count. I'm all about feel. That's a thing. It's sort of like, that's why I'm always like, if somebody's playing an odd time signature, don't tell me that it's an odd time signature. Just let me feel the riff you're playing and I'll lock in with that.
So I'll ask a different question. Your different drums and your toms and everything have different sounds, and you hit different ones to make that sound when you want that sound to be made. So what makes you hit a floor tom instead of a rack tom? It's a terrible example because they sound completely different, but I'm getting at what makes...
One's lower and one's higher. And they're notes, like boom, 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 whatever those notes would be. It sometimes makes more sense. Like when I do a triplet fill, I tend to lead with my right hand on the floor tom, right? For whatever reason. That has nothing to do with musicality as much as to do with that just feels more comfortable. I don't know. It is now. I'm the man of
musicality.
Words.
Musicality.
I think it's got to be a word. That sounds like a word.
Doesn't sound wrong.
If it's not a word, I just made up a good one.
It sounds wrong when you're using a word I'm not certain of.
Yo, you want to do a podcast today? Let me pick on you for fucking 2 hours.
I told you I was coming in hot,
I enjoy
baby.
myself when I'm drinking on the podcast. A lot more fun. I listened to our last
Blame
podcast,
the Locomoca, baby.
And the coffee's just like, it's not booze.
I'm not on the booze. I'm on the energy drink that has caffeine.
I want to be on the booze.
You're saying, okay, I got you right now. Right now you want to be. I hear you.
I want to be on the booze because I was watching our last episode and I was just having a blast. Now, granted, we were on tour.
Having a party.
Well, I was getting ready to go on stage. I wasn't even drunk. I was just starting, like I remember.
I don't think you came across as inebriated. I think you came across as having a good time and about to go play a show. What better feeling
that's the only time we've ever done that, by the way, is I've never recorded a podcast right before we played a show.
What better feeling is it really to already be set up? You're good.
Just gotta
you got 5 minutes to just be like, I'm gonna go do something that I like to do. It's really kind of the
5 minutes
best.
I can't because 5 minutes before we play every night, Thunderstruck comes on. That's the time I got to go to the stage. 5 minutes before 5 minutes. How about that?
Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that.
I think I find it more energizing of a feeling when I get done sound check knowing that my shit ain't gonna move. There's nothing worse to me than setting up to break down to set up again.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's really stupid.
It's dumb. Unfortunately, I don't have a tech. I need one. And once I have a tech, I won't care about any of that. I was very cool. That guy's got to move that shit. That sucks.
So I got a question. I'm late, kind of late on catching up on this, but I just watched the Ozzy Osbourne Hall of Fame induction.
I watched it I watched it a few weeks back. It's real emotional. Yeah. Real sad. He wanted to rock out so bad with them while they were playing.
How on earth did it take that long to get him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to the point that he can't perform? He has to sit down.
Dude, I got one to even top that. Last night, just last night, I watched Foreigner's induction. And Mick Jones didn't even make it to the Hall of Fame because he's too old. He's in his 80s. He fucking couldn't make it.
That's the guitar player, right? That's
He's the guy who started the band. Like, he's the mastermind of Foreigner.
Yeah.
He was in Spooky Tooth. I just learned that from watching that last night. And I only know Spooky Tooth because I always jam along to the Yacht Rock channel. And that song, the Spooky Tooth song always comes on there.
You know who his son is? Holy shit. For real?
Yeah, Spooky Tooth. That was spooky in itself, bro. You gotta admit.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta let you go. I'm trying to ask you a question. You know who his son is? Mick Jones from Foreigner is Mark Ronson, the producer.
No shit.
Yeah.
The guy who did
Yeah, that's his son. I believe. Check me later. I have to let you go.
It's a. Yeah,
it's Bruno Mars. We got it. Johnny. I would have turned this podcast off about 27 seconds ago.
I turned it off 27 seconds in.
I think his mom married Mick Jones, but he's acted as a father figure.
Well, Mick Jones's daughter accepted the award and read the speech.
Is he sick or is he
Jones.
Just old and didn't travel?
I think he's sick. Because even Foreigner right now is out there touring just like Bullets on the Arcade, a la 2019, where we didn't have a single original member in the band. Not a single original member in Foreigner right now touring. Mick Jones shows up and plays a gig every now and again, like something really important, but very rarely.
Like Glenn Tipton.
Yeah.
What's
up with him?
I think he has Parkinson's.
For real? I didn't know that.
I think it's Parkinson's.
Sad. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
That just shows we're getting old, because those are the guys like I read about in Circus and Hit Parader and all that shit.
Yeah. And he still will come up and do 2 or 3 songs a night, but it's like all he can handle. So like, obviously, I mean, Glenn Tipton is Judas Priest.
Did he start the band?
That's a good question. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I mean, he's the guy that does all the leads, and I mean, KK Downing, I mean, they go back and forth, whatever, but Glenn Tipton is that sound.
Didn't Glenn Tipton leave Judas Priest before KK Downing did, and then came back, and then KK Downing left at some point?
Some of those bands, I have a tough time keeping track of their lineage.
I wonder what happened and why KK Downing left, because now he's just playing KK's Priest.
Yeah,
which is basically Judas with Ripper Owens, which is cool. Don't see, that's a cool, that's cool. He got the singer who replaced Rob Halford to be his singer.
Rob Halford still got it though, man. Holy shit,
that movie Rockstar is based off of Ripper Owens, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Ozzy. It's sad, right? It's like Blizzard of Oz came out in what, 80, 81?
So bad.
When did Blizzard of Oz come out?
He's already in the Hall of Fame in Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath, right. But when did Blizzard of Oz come out? 80, 81? That would have made him eligible in the mid 2005. He's eligible.
I bought that album when I was 9 years old.
That was the second album that I bought, Blizzard of Oz.
Me too. That was my second record. What was your first?
My first album that I bought. First album that it might have been Blizzard. I get confused because my brother had some that I listened to.
I bought Blizzard of Oz as my second record. My first record was AC/DC High Voltage.
I'll tell you what? It was my first record because my brother bought No More Tears, and I listened to that, and then I went to the store and I wanted to get more of Ozzy, and I got Blizzard of Oz, and it's the back. He has his arms up with that whatever
the fringe
shirt that he used to wear. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And I don't think I'm unique in saying that.
A little side note story about the spandex fringe.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I ordered out of a back of a magazine these arm things, right? They were like black spandex with yellow fringe. And I got 2 of them.
Like Striper?
Yeah, exactly. So before I ever tried them on, Huey, God rest his soul, he's like, let me try them on first. And everybody was bigger than me because they were all a year older than me. So Huey,
this is going.
He tried it on. And then gave it back to me. And when I put it on, he had stretched it out so much and it wasn't coming back that I put it on and it just fell down my arm. I was so bummed because I wanted, dude, I was like fucking 8. I'm like, yeah, look at these. He was like, let me try it.
Were they truly stretched out or were they just too big for you?
Well, I don't know because I never fucking wore them. But my brother Scott, God rest his soul, he did something very similar. When we were kids, we had a band fund and we would put $2 in every week. Every guy in the band, right? And when we had enough money, we walked up to a place called Woolworth and we bought a Smurf drum
Snurf?
set. Snurf. I just had a Snurf.
You made up a word. That one I approve of. Snurf. It's like a
Well, there's a word that's called snarf. Snarf is when you're smoking weed out of a bong and you start coughing and you blow the smoke back into the bong and the bong water comes out where the weed is. That's a snarf. Okay.
Snarf. Okay.
A snarf.
Man, I'm learning a ton of shit today.
A Smurf. A Smurf. Like the blue people. We walked to Richboro, Pennsylvania. We bought this Smurf drum set for $19 and carried this box back, like 4 9-year-olds carrying this box back like a mile to get to my house. Set it up, and my brother Scott, who was a drummer, he's like, oh, this ain't a drum set. And he sits down, and the heads on it were like paper. So he sits down behind, and he's like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, hole, 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 hole.
Oh,
broke every head on it. I never played that either.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I had a rough childhood. I had a great childhood, but that was a rough moments.
You want to know my favorite Scotty U story?
Yeah.
We were on tour. and we were going through Philadelphia, and we stopped at Lorenzo's to get pizza after we played, and I was like super hungry. And Lorenzo's pizza by the slice is my favorite pizza I think that I've ever had in my life.
Get 2 slices, you get like a half a pizza.
Yeah, well, 1 slice they put on 2 plates. So picture a white paper plate, and they have to use 2 of those for 1 slice. Well, I got 2 slices, and I'm not a big guy, you know. I'm built perfect, and I'm moderate height, but you know, I'm not a huge guy. I don't have a huge appetite. Your brother was at the show. He comes out to me, he goes, "No effing way, no effing way," just like thinking that I'm not going to be able to finish the pizza. I ate all of it.
What did he say after you ate it?
I think it just he didn't. Just earned his respect. I earned his respect, I think, on that day. So I guess you don't feel like talking about Ozzy too much, so we can move on.
If was there more to say, I'm down to talk about Ozzy. I love
No,
it.
I'm just like, how did it take so long to let him in? That's all. That's my only point.
I mean, but
it
think
all comes
about
down to he's
so
not the only
many
one
bands,
that's taking too long.
dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know who else? I was listening. Okay, so I got my Sirius XM back. Right, they gave me a $4 a month deal. It was hard not to pass up, and I was listening to the Classic Rewind channel, and they listed off a bunch of bands. There's another band that they said that I was blown away by, that they weren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet. Like I was surprised that Foreigner wasn't in. I was surprised that Ozzy wasn't in. Every year there's a couple that I'm less like who else got in this year?
Oh damn, that's Cher got in.
Why is she in the Rock and Roll? Oh, I guess Sonny and Cher.
She's got a laundry list of hits. Are you kidding?
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been years.
They have rappers in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, for Christ's sake.
They should just.
That's another thing.
It.
How did a rapper make it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Ozzy?
They should just rename it the Music Hall of Fame for real. Because I mean, like a lot of those people deserve to be in it, but it's not rock and roll.
Right. Unless if you go to the origins of rock and roll, is basically rebellion. You know, in a lot of ways, was really what it means. So, like, I guess, like, you know,
rock
rappers
spirit.
Yeah, you know, it's part of the rock and roll spirit. I mean, there's a way to put a twist on that. Still, no rapper should have made it there before Ozzy Osbourne. That's insane.
There's a short list of people in my brain that I put on the living legend list, and he's number 1, dude. Like, living legend. He should have been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 20 years ago. Solo Ozzy 20 years ago.
I'm Googling this one. Who's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? All right. People ask, who is surprisingly not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Joy Division, yeah, that makes sense. Chic, yep, that makes sense.
What's Joy Division sing?
I don't know what they sing, but they went on to form New Order. Sonic Youth, I don't think they deserve to be there. John Coltrane, yeah. Maiden's not in there.
That's a crime. That's a crime.
They've been eligible since 2005. Mariah Carey's been eligible since 2006. Eric B. and Rakim, New York Dolls. They've been eligible.
That's a crime. New York
Dolls. That should be a crime. New York Dolls should be. Okay, well, there's a lot of ones. The Smiths, they've been eligible since 99. Motorhead's been eligible since 03.
Motorhead's
Soundgarden since 2012.
Soundgarden.
Brian Eno, he should be there. He's been there since 2000. Thin Lizzy, eligible since 96.
That's a crime.
The Pixies,
since 96. They've been eligible for almost 30 years.
Yeah. The Pixies been eligible for 11 years. The White Stripes, they just been eligible since 23. They don't deserve it yet. De La Soul, the Smashing Pumpkins, they've been eligible since 16. I don't think they deserve it.
I do.
I don't know, maybe King Crimson, 95. I mean...
Dude, I could rattle off 5 to 10 Smashing Pumpkin hits.
Jane's Addiction.
They should be in.
Yeah, this is the craziest thing. I got a crazy list here. I'm not going to go through it, but like Ronnie James Dio, I just saw a picture of him in on this.
Rainbow, Black Sabbath,
like
Dio
just in this picture,
project. He should be in 3 times.
Bryan Adams, you know, I mean, like he should be in before a lot. Alice in Chains,
they should be in. Did you ever see pictures of Alice in Chains before they went grunge? They were like a metal band. It's kind of funny. It's like
it's got a Bad Company's not in yet.
That's a crime. I think I'm going to name this episode "That's a Crime."
Yeah. Some of these I don't think, like, I mean, like, Beck isn't in yet, but it's sort of like, I don't know. The B-52s, they should be in. Mm-hmm. The Black Crowes should be in.
They should be in.
I mean, there's some of these that are eligible that like Blood, Sweat, and Tears should be in. You know, Blue Oyster Cult, John Bon Jovi. I don't know if Bon Jovi's in by itself. Boston.
By himself.
Boston's not in.
Boston should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for
Brownsville
sure.
Station's not in. Brownsville Station.
You know why Boston's
in
not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I think they only had like 2 albums, right?
Who is that?
Boston. I think they only had like 2 albums.
I think they had, But okay, they only had 2
banger
albums.
hits. Holy shit!
More Than a Feeling.
And arguably, compare them to a band like Guns N' Roses that have only put out. You could boil it down to 3 albums. There's more. I know. I'm generalizing, but like
who makes the decision?
I think it's a conglomerate. It's a board of people. I believe Bruce Springsteen's on it, and the guy that owns Rolling Stone magazine, and so on and so forth.
None of it makes sense, dude.
I do get the feeling that it's kind of like a you could sit at this lunch table club, you know, cool kids over here, and we don't like Kiss because they had a gimmick, so we'll make them wait.
Didn't Kiss get in though last year?
They did, but it took 30 years after their eligibility.
Is Alice Cooper in?
If he's not, I will flip this table over.
The Colt's not in. Roger Daltrey. Roger Daltrey on his own shouldn't be in. Why would he be in?
I agree. The Who.
Devo should be in.
Absolutely. You got on there to look up Alice Cooper. Is Alice Cooper in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Well, it would have been in the A's, and it wasn't, so he must be in.
Then I can leave my table unflipped.
Yeah.
Speaking of flipping tables, dude. Hey, let's move on. Close that, because this is a rabbit hole. This is a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm in a hole of a rabbit kind.
You know that When We Were Young festival in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
It just happened last month in October. They cut the Used off. Like, they cut the power on. They cut the band The Used was playing their last song, and they cut the power on them because they went a minute over.
Wow.
I read a number of sources that said that The Used were cut off at 6:26 whenever Pierce the Veil was scheduled to start on a second stage at 6:25. So because of that extra minute, they cut them off.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
I want to hear devil's advocate because you got to stay on schedule. Don't go over your time. I'm not saying that, because where do you draw the line? But also a minute.
If every band did a minute, there's 10 bands on there. Now the fucking show's running 10 minutes behind. The show goes 10 minutes after 11.
There was 47 bands. So you got to stay on a schedule.
Right. And if it goes over at all, that's a huge fine, curfew fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was going back and forth on this a lot.
I know it's The Used, and they should know better. They should know better.
I mean, there's somebody saying last song. Like there's communication about that at
There's
festivals.
clocks on both sides of the stage.
Everywhere. For sure don't go over your time, but for a minute, for a minute.
I mean, come on now. I essentially they're taking a minute away from the next band.
Yes, I agree.
That band a minute.
I'm not defending them for that.
I mean, it sounds crazy, but a minute is okay. How about like you're on stage and something goes wrong and it feels like a minute, but in reality it's like 10 seconds. So just think about how long a minute actually is.
Oh, a minute could be a very long time.
On stage.
A minute could be a very long time.
if it's 60 minutes, you just took 1/60th away.
I just so what ended up happening was the crowd.
The singer beat the shit out of the sound guy.
The crowd continued to sing the song. So it's not like they didn't get off the stage any faster. The crowd continued. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
We played at BB King's on Universal when I was in the Knives, and they put that plastic thing around the drummer, and like our singer didn't like it, so he like took the plastic and took it to the crowd, and the crowd were crowd surfing the plastic, and it really pissed off the sound guy, so he cut the sound and the crowd just kept singing the song.
That's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So we're going back and forth. Do you have their back? Do you think they were wrong? I was kind of battling. I thought they were wrong, and then I read another article about the same exact festival happened in October. That band All American Rejects, they were booked to play on it, and they backed out because at first it was vague. Oh, they weren't able to accommodate our whatever. And I was like, so they like wouldn't honor their rider or whatever. So I read on, found some other articles. All these bands now are doing like a full album. Like My Chemical Romance is doing a tour. They're playing Welcome to the Black Parade.
Black Parade.
Like Jimmy Eat World's doing Bleed America. Bleed American? Bleed American?
It's Bleed American. It came out September 11th, 2001. They had to change the name of the album that day. It just went back to being called Bleed America.
Yeah, that's a great album. I mean, I would love to see that. But the festival owned by Live Nation was trying to tell All American Rejects that they had to play their first album. And All American Rejects was saying, we want to do our set. And they said, we want you to play the first album. So now it's like the festival's telling a band what they should play. Like, get out of here.
Hold on. Live Nation told them this. They might have a contract with Live Nation that's paying them millions upon millions of dollars to show up at places and play. Because that's what happens. Live Nation puts them under contract, gives them a chunk of an advance, and now you just work. So Live Nation, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right. I disagree with that. If what you're saying is true, that's fucked up, and I would have backed out of it too, out of principle. I mean, granted, they probably walked away from at least $100,000 by backing out of that. At least, if not $500,000. At least. And that's a lot of money.
Album. You put it that way. Go play the album.
Yeah. You guys, it's 10 songs. We're getting paid $500,000. We're getting paid $50,000 a song to play this album. Let's go do it.
What a bummer to even think of that, though. To even think that is an occurrence that could potentially happen.
I don't think any concert promoter should be telling the band what to be playing. Hire the band or don't hire the fucking band.
Yeah,
that's simple.
If you don't like their decision making, then don't represent that band.
That's it.
Boom.
It's that simple.
Boom.
What were you going to say?
That's all. I don't know. I feel like I came in kind of hot today. The tickets for that too. Here's another thing. Oh, I had a thought about like cutting off a band and like the crowd continued to sing their song for them because general admission starts at $325.
Jesus. What other bands were on that?
Man, it was 47 bands. I don't know. Look it up. So what else is up, my
dude?
See,
Crucified Barbers getting back together to play Sweden Rock?
I did see that. That's cool. Are they just doing the one show?
I'm sure that'll lead.
Shout out to it. It's a band. Why don't you explain to the people who Crucified Barber is?
Crucified Barber is a band that Warner Drive toured with in Finland back in 2012. They're a Swedish all-girl band. But I ran into Mia, the singer of Crucified Barbara. She was playing a show we were playing. She was playing a solo show at a show we were playing in Sweden.
And she's also currently the touring bass player for our new friends, the Gems.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm talking like this. I'm trying to sound educational.
Did I tell you that halfway through our tour, I got hit up by Guernica because their opener couldn't do the last 2 weeks of their tour.
Oh, yeah?
So we wouldn't have been able to do all of it because we went all the way through to Halloween, but we could have done November 1st through the 12th with them. Yeah. But logistically, it just wasn't feasible, unfortunately. But I thought that, cause for months and months and months, I tried to get on that tour and I couldn't make it happen. And then it got offered to us and I couldn't take it.
Is that called Murphy's Law? It's like you try for something and it didn't happen. And then it's like ironic. I think that maybe I'm mixing it up, but it's like.
Well, Murphy's Law would be like.
Whatever can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah, you go to a restaurant. It's completely dead all day long. You're like, I'm going to go to this restaurant because it's completely dead, and then you get there and it's as busy as it's ever been, and you're like, yeah, Murphy's Law.
Okay, all right, that's sort of similar. Then you're like, you tried to get on a tour, you couldn't get on it.
Yeah, like it's sort of like that. That's a perfect thing. It's something you try to get, and then it doesn't work out, and then like all of a sudden, when you can't do it, it does work out. It's like, yeah, that is Murphy's Law.
We are all about half truths. I love it. It's the best. Anyways, you were offered.
There was a half truth before that I wanted to. You said something. I'm like, oh, I got to remember and tell him, but I can't remember. Any new music you hear? That's good.
Any new music, like new bands?
Anything. You listen to anything that goes, wow, that's great.
I'm stoked My Chemical Romance is touring next summer. I want to go try to see them at Dodger Stadium. If anyone wants to go with me.
Are they playing at Dodger Stadium?
Yeah. That's a band, dude.
Okay, let me ask you a
There's
question.
some bands, now I'm going to make a point, and I might be cutting you off. There's some bands that can take time off and they totally benefit from it.
Probably most bands, if they just took the time off. Because if you don't, bands that play all the time, people get to the point where, like, I'll just see them next time. If they know there ain't a next time and there hasn't been a time in a long time, then that's going to sell. But here's what I wanted to say to you. You telling me about this Dodger Stadium thing sparked a thought. I was on the phone having a business meeting yesterday, and we're talking about how rock and roll's dead in America, apparently, right? But then I'm like, you could say rock's dead in America. It seems like every
tagline of my band, Johnny.
Hold on. Every band that comes to Los Angeles that is a name plays the LA Forum nowadays, if you've noticed. You're talking about Black Parade, My Chemical Romance tour, being at Dodger Stadium. Foo Fighter plays Dodger Stadium last year. Green Day and whoever they were on the road with just played Dodger Stadium this past summer. And if it's not Dodger Stadium or the Forum, the other place, there's two other places. There's the Intuit Dome, which is where the LA Clippers play. So that's an 18,000 seat. That's even bigger than the Forum. And then the kicker is there's that soccer stadium downtown, which only holds like 20-something thousand. It's not like a big soccer stadium, but it looks huge. Iron Maiden just sold out 2 nights there. Every bands are selling out nights there. Blink-182 just sold out 2 nights there. So for people to say rock is dead, is it? Yeah. Is rock really dead? Because think about that. The Forum, the Intuit, the Bank Stadium down, the BMO Stadium downtown, and then whatever the other fucking one I said.
BOA, Bank of America. I have 2 thoughts. One, I don't believe that rock and roll is dead. No, I don't. But my second thought is name one rock and roll band within the past 10 years that has had the effect of Iron Maiden, My Chemical Romance, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, Aerosmith retired, Kiss retired. Who's the band who rips off Led Zeppelin? Greta Van Fleet. That's a valid answer. Love them or hate them, they're doing something cool.
Dirty Honey, not quite as big, but they're
still doing something cool.
Yeah, but they're not playing the Forum with that unless they're an opener.
It's a pretty decent answer though that you came up with. I don't think
so many bands are playing the Forum, dude. So I'm like, Papa Roach tickets just went on sale. It's like, who the fuck cares about Papa Roach anymore?
They've been out there. Give them credit where it's due, dude. They've never.
They've been out up. When I was in music school.
Never given up.
That fucking the song that Green Day ripped off eventually. Right.
Last Resort. Yeah. They had. Dude, yeah. We played on a festival with them in Germany.
That I had to play in music school was that Last.
We played on a festival with Papa Roach in Germany, and it was definitely one of those bands that I watched their show and was like, "Holy shit! Hit! Oh, another hit! Oh, another hit! Oh, another hit! Oh, another hit! Holy!"
shit. I remember Johnny Chow telling me that. Johnny plays in Stone Sour, and they were touring with Papa Roach, and he's like, you don't realize how many hits Papa Roach has until you watch him play live.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like hit after hit after hit after hit. Another one is like Nickelback, everybody, it's like everyone says they don't like Nickelback, and they make that new documentary, which I got to watch, by the way. That's on Netflix. That's about how, like the band's well aware that everybody hates Nickelback. But here's the thing. They sold 8 million, 10 million, 13 million. Yeah. Everybody hates them. Where are the 13 million people who bought the fucking record?
Or the 20,000 a night that they're playing for.
They just did a tour, dude. They just finished a tour a few months back.
Yeah.
Every show was an arena. And I think like every show was sold out. So this thing that rock and roll is dead, because you don't think rock and roll is dead, but how many times it's your band saying rock and roll is dead?
It's our whole tagline, baby.
But think about it. How often do we hear that? And it's sort of like, but it's not dead. People are just scared to push it because they think it's dead. But if any smart business person would take a step back, they'd be like, if it's so dead, how are they selling out the Forum? How are they selling out Intuit? How are they selling out BMO Stadium? How are they doing that?
If
it was dead.
In my brain, it's more about the spirit of rock and roll is dead. Take someone like Kiss. I talk about Kiss too much. Drop it. Take someone like Bruce Springsteen.
Kiss isn't a good example. That's not a fair example because they're in a league of their own.
You're not listening to my point. Here's my point.
You have points?
Yeah, I do. Bruce Springsteen put out Born to Run. It was his 3rd album, I think, 3rd or 4th, something like that. And he was essentially on the verge of getting dropped. But he didn't. because at that time in the 70s, record companies invested in a band, got them on the road, let them write their music
Develop.
and fun.
They let them develop.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened with Kiss. That's why I brought them up first. It's
Rush.
exactly what
You
happened
think
with Alice
Rush
Cooper.
would be able to come out today? No way.
No.
It
You
took
can't
to like
write
their
se-
fifth
you can't
record
write
to have
7 minute
commercial success with that band.
You can't write 7-minute weird songs anymore. It's just like,
No.
I mean, you can. God bless you if you do, but it's not going to be TikTokable. But so that's what I mean. That's what's dead. That's what's dead. That's what's dead. You can't get on a tour if you have.
How many times are you going to say that's what's dead? That's what's dead. That's what's dead.
I'm trying to make a point, and I drank that whole entire ass energy drink. So let me make my point. It's like you can't get on a tour anymore unless you have X amount of followers. You can't get paid for writing. That's what's dead. Spotify killed writing albums. Live Nation killed touring for bands that are trying to cut their teeth.
Lars Ulrich kind of fucked everybody when it came to the streaming. And the reason I say that is
how he was standing up for people saying it was wrong.
Right. But he'd also made the people in the industry not go along with the technology that was changing. Yeah. And because of that, Spotify was able to regulate the way they do it now, which is crazy. Had they been in bed with the labels from the get-go, which they are in bed now, like the labels basically own Spotify. You know, I mean, this is why you still need a label.
Well, they're probably they're probably stoked that instead of paying 25 cents for a radio play,
every
they're paying 0.003 cents for a stream.
I still ain't going to go out there and talk smack about Spotify because it still is the main medium for people to listen to music.
Doesn't mean it's right.
I'm not saying it's right, dude. It's horrible. Fucking.
So stand up against
when I was
it.
at Bullets and Octane, our top two songs in the band at the time were the same song and combined had almost 30 million plays.
Yeah, do you know how much money you'd make if those were 30 million radio plays?
If that was radio plays, yeah. You know,
that's what's messed up. That's what I'm talking
from
about.
The '90s have you heard say, "I'm so grateful I came out when I did because I would hate to have to come out today."
Right. Exclusively across the board, all those people from.
Dude, my meeting yesterday was one of the most disheartening fucking meetings ever. For no other reason than it's just the facts, and the facts is nobody knows what to do in this rock and roll environment at the moment. Nobody knows what to do.
Yeah.
Because it's dominated by a different medium, musically and the whole TikTok thing, you know,
the what do you call it? The separation between the big bands that are playing the Forum and getting the tours because they're AC/DC and they deserve it, rightfully so, and the little bands that are not ever going to get invited to open up for them anymore. Unless Angus Young
there's going to
says,
be an opening band on this AC/DC tour that's coming, just like the Pretty Reckless opened up for them in Europe.
But the Pretty Reckless isn't a little band. They've been around forever and they're doing their thing. I'm saying, like, unless Angus Young goes to their tour manager, whoever booking agent, and says, "This is who I demand as our opening act," that's the only way a band with under 150,000 TikTok followers, Instagram followers, whatever, is going to get on that tour. It's just a fact, dude.
But that's not necessarily true, dude. I know there's a lot of bands out there who are touring, and maybe they know the bands. I don't know. But, like, there's a lot of bands out there that don't have the numbers that you're talking. Maybe that's a number to break in America, but there's a lot of other places in the world. Like, the Gems don't have those kinds of numbers, and I just watched the Gems at a sold-out show in Hamburg. You know what I mean? Like, they were headlining, by the way.
They're working hard. They're working hard. They're out there doing it. I'm not trying to shit on our peers.
No, I'm just saying trying. That I don't think numbers are end all be all. I really don't. I would say if my band had good numbers right now, we'd be in a different place. That I know because
it's more of a qualifying factor than it's ever been, and that's my point.
Absolutely.
Instead of writing a good song and having someone say, "This is a good song, this is a good band, we're going to put you out with," because if you went out with someone like AC/DC, people would be like, "This makes sense."
Yeah, you know what's crazy? MySpace was the start of all this. Think about this: Hollywood Undead doesn't get a record deal if it's not for MySpace. They're still around today. There's like one original guy left in it, but
yeah, Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy, those are all MySpace bands.
Yeah, it's crazy. MySpace was cool. You know, all you needed back then was to get somebody who had a ton of followers to put you in the top 8, and you're fucking stoked. You know, remember that?
We were in the top 10 all the time in MySpace. It was like kind of fun to go on every day. And just like, yeah, we just didn't stick around long enough to benefit from it. Though the difference between us and them is they stayed together. You know,
Cherry Monroe is a rock and roll cliche story.
Yep.
And the reason why I don't.
Hell yeah, baby! Rock and roll's dead.
You know, it's just so many bands have that same. The Knives and Cherry Monroe have the same story. Inner turmoil ruins bands. And inner turmoil caused by outside actions.
We didn't have turmoil amongst ourselves. We had other things. Well, our manager, if you consider our manager, he was a shit human. Shout out to him.
That guy sucks.
Yeah.
Whose idea was to say I'm done with the band?
I'm not getting into this.
All right. I understand.
On that note, buddy.
On that note, my ass is puckering again. So.
Hey, good convo today, man.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. I saw you 3 days ago in person, which was crazy.
Yeah.
I want to start doing it in this room, man. Yeah.
We'll have to figure it out. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Everybody, thank you for joining us on another episode 110, coming to an end here today on the What Everybody podcast. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and report. Tell all your friends. Hit that bell button they talk about all the time.
Hit us up.
Ding.
Drop a comment. Let's build this ship.
Ding.
Let's build this ship. Rock and roll's alive and well.
Rock and roll.
See you next time.
Rock and roll is alive and well. That's the problem. The problem is that the percentage amount of people that like it aren't the same as the percentage amount of people that like rap.
Oh, I should have just let you quit. I talked too much. I should have just let you quit.
All right, everybody. We'll see you later. He wants me out. I'm out. I'll talk to you, everybody. Bye. See you next time. Later.